like the sky, shining brighter, like the sky, like the sky, like the sky, electrified.
Welcome back, Summoners, after a very long break. This is the Garena LVL. My name is Vulcan, and with me is Chisto, joining in to this coming back, homecoming of the LVL. Your Shotcasters entering the first set of matches.
Yeah, and of course, I'm very excited to finally be back after a long break. Very, very intrigued by the upcoming matches. Very, very important matches because we're nearing the end of the LVL.
So note that we've actually came a long way during the LVL, but let's have a short recap, Chisto. What happened over the days, over the weeks of the LVL?
Well, the teams have been moving up and about the standings. Teams have been upsetting. The matches have been getting very, very explosive. The teams that kind of were slumping have been performing very, very consistently. So I wonder, how can these teams in the upcoming matches perform as we head into the standings? Of course, TUP, they have a game later today. They're sitting atop the standings. Very, very strong, very consistent. And man, I wonder how will these standings move as we move near to the playoff stage.
And note that this is going to be the 6th week of the LVL, continuing after the Christmas break we did have. So let us check the schedule to see the first set of matches. It will be the IAC, I Academy Game Changers versus AME Retaliate Esports, followed by TUP against UPD.
Yeah, and of course, for the final match of the day, it will be the MCL Warlocks versus the UST Tele Tigers. And
oh man, TUP, I gotta say, one of the strongest schools entering the first ever LVL in the Philippines.
well, of course, they are the top seed, so they are showing that they are the strongest, and they have been very consistent throughout the split. The term, I should say.
When it comes to TUP's performance, it's without a doubt that they are entering this LVL. Note that this is the first ever LVL being live right now in this new term. So let's see how this will end for TUP. But let's not disregard the fact that the top 5 teams right now, the schools, still have somehow of a slim chance. Whereas it's sad to say that the bottom 2, the 6th and 7th rank, will not make it to the playoff stage. But at least they can show or learn from the first LVL. But before all that, Cristo, I think we're ready to get into the drafting phase for our first set of match.
Yeah, and I think we are going to head right into the drafting phase here. We are on patch 7.24, so no big patch yet. It has been a very long time since we've had a patch, so let's see what these teams will bring to the table. And right now from IAC, they ban away the Ash from Relapse.
So note that for iAcademy, they are going to be substituting one of their new players. It would be Episode. Not anymore Bogivan due to some medical problems, I would say, from information gathered. So for iAcademy Game Changers, we'll be now on the blue side versus AMA Retaliate Esports on the red side. So Chisto, first banning phase is about to finish. What can you say?
Very standard bans from both teams here, really banning out meta champions here from both teams. Really, IAC denying the Orin, one of the strongest and most consistent, easy-use top laners in the current meta, whereas AMA banning out the Taric, a very strong support, provides a lot of the team fight for these teams. And with that being said, IAC are now hovering over this Jarvan pick, one of the strongest junglers, I should say. Very, very consistent, very tanky, and a very strong early game as well, and it is locked in.
And so far for iAcademy, they are on the blue side, as you said, getting one of the priority picks so far. Jarvan, I would say, has been the most picked champions, not just in the LVL, but also somehow we do see Jarvans in the international scene, sometimes in the PGS. So for iAcademy, they are going to be prioritizing the Jarvan, but for AME, another priority pick for them, it would be the Lulu support. But a Shyvana jungle, this is interesting.
I actually think Shyvana right now is a very strong jungler as far as competitive League of Legends goes. The thing with Shyvana though is she needs a lot of gold in order to be useful during that mid game. She needs a lot of farm during the early phases because she isn't as effective with ganking during the early stages because she doesn't have that CC yet. But with what AMA has, they have enough setup. They have the Varus to lock down targets for the Shyvana to just destroy once she gets her key items.
And note that when it comes to Zoe, one of the annoying champions that we all can relate to, well, definitely some of the players who are facing against Zoe, they do not want to deal with the sleep, one of the new mechanic in the crowd control. So Academy will be removing Zoe, knowing that it is available to be used in the LVL right now. So I think we're about to finish our drafting phase, Chisto. What can you say about the drafting from Academy? Is it top tier, high tier? What can you say?
I like their draft very much. It looks like they know what they want to do in these fights. They want to start the fight and end it as soon as they can. You see the amount of dive potential on their team. Leona, Jarvan, Camille. These champions destroy backlines. And for AMA, they have a very immobile backline. They have an Orianna, no dashes. Varus, no dashes as well. If the Camille and Jarvan get to that line of AMA, they're just gonna get wrecked.
But at least they have the Lulu to back it up and also the Shen for protection. But at this point in time, we are in week 6. I think it's safe to say that Academy, they did perform pretty well when it comes to coming back, same as for AMA. But when it comes to this last crucial 2 weeks of the LVL, you want to make it count and you would try and put your school, your name, in a good standard.
Yeah, and looking back to what you said about AMA's draft, they do have defensive options. And right now, what I'm seeing, an unstoppable force versus an immovable object. Let's see how that work out for both teams, because once you head into Summoner's Rift, it all comes down to execution.
So, I think we're ready, Chisto, and I think the viewers are itching to see another game of the LVL unfold today. This is again week 6 of the Garena League of Legends Varsity League. Let's get straight to match 1.
Yeah, we're gonna head on to the rift for the first match of the day between Academy Game Changers on the blue side versus AMA Retaliate on the red side.
So once again, this is after a very long break we did have over the months, but let us hope that the players' skill and thirst for blood are not dull just yet.
You know, I'm very intrigued to what Episode can bring to the table for Academy here, because he is a new player in the LVL right now. So let's see, maybe we'll see a breakout performance from him.
Let's see if putting Episode into the Game Changers roster can do something for the Academy, but we'll see. This is going to be his first and debut in the week 6 of the LVL. You may want to make some name, you want to make your name shown, your talents, but eyes on Episode right now, being the new player, entering the 6th week. It's like your
pilot episode.
It's a pilot episode. It's like you're entering a school for the midterm and you have no friends. So let's see if Episode can make some friends or enemies in the Rift.
He's the new guy.
He's the new guy that everyone loves to bully. Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, and looking at how this game should pan out, I think Academy will opt to play very aggressively during this early game, because they have options to go for early game ganks, especially down in the bot lane. There's a lot of CC there to help the Jarvan try and possibly kill AMA's bot lane. So let's see how the junglers will opt to path.
And when it comes to junglers, as we always say, can really impact the lane. But that does not go for a Shyvana who loves to farm and is very centered around gold. And as you said, no crowd control for a Shyvana. So Academy, they can really abuse this.
Yeah, but the thing with Shyvana, in order for a Shyvana to win, all her lanes need to be winning as well. That's basically how Shyvana works, because she's going to be farming the entire early game, because if you try and gank, it's just going to delay your power spikes on the champion. So let's see, how will AMA navigate their fairly weak early game?
So far, I love what Game Changers are doing right now with their composition. You have, as you said, Chisto, and during the drafting, huge potential lockdowns followed by the bullet time can really synergize well with the Camille and Jarvan. Let's see if Episode may pick up some lethality or a Black Cleaver to shred the armor. But when it comes to AMA, an unmovable object, a wall. Let's see if they'll be sturdy enough and survive the incoming burst. Because Jarvan, wait, what's this? Looks like an invade will happen. And the red buff will be safely in the hands of AMA's jungler.
Ooh, that was very close there. Both junglers actually had smites, so none of them pulling the trigger right there. Very, very close.
Oh, interesting. I think this Camille is running the Arcane Comet.
It's actually very effective on Camille. It's a very popular mastery in solo. Generally, see fighters use press the attack, but I think Comet is actually very, very more effective for the Camille.
Doesn't Arcane Comet scale with AP though?
It's adaptive.
It's adaptive.
It's adaptive.
I see. So when it comes to being the Arcane Comet, that's more of a free proc because of the tactical sweep slow zone. And with that AoE match, the Arcane Comet will be sure to land.
Yeah, and I think the sorcery tree on Camille in general can buff the rest of her abilities. Of course, you can run the mana flow ban because Camille does use a lot of mana, but this guy gonna top it.
Ooh, that's a very close call. The standard combo will not connect, so that's gonna be more of a penalty for the game changers.
Yeah, but looking back at that previous point I was trying to make with sorcery tree on Camille, you can also opt to get ultimate hat, reduce the cooldown on your Hextech ultimatum, have more lockdown potential for your team. So it provides a lot more utility for Camille, but less dueling potential.
I guess when it comes to getting the Arcane Comet, as long as the champion has a kit, let's say a powerful slow or a hard CC, you can really deliver more damage. But for Prestige attack, yeah, it takes time to proc 3 basic attacks, then you have to follow it up. Sometimes it can work with the Hextech ultimatum, but still, it takes time to set up, and I don't think Camille's early game will allow that.
Yeah, generally during the early game, she'll just try and poke with her W, try and whittle down the Gen because she's gonna constantly push in this lane. Right now we see the Comet doing so much work for her. During this early, Falcata really can't do much. Just try and hit level 6, and then once he has Stand United available, try and assist his team.
It's like for AMA, they all have to reach that level 6 because when it comes to Stand United being unlocked for AMA, that's a huge benefit. Not just that, the Lulu and the Shyvana will finally get a ganking tool at around level 6. So for Aya, I think they're on a timer here. They can really control how the game can be played.
Yeah, and I think AMA, they understand that the Shyvana has to farm, so all of their laners are playing very, very safe, playing very far back.
Oh.
They're not allowing.
Kyo catching Zoe in his jungle, gets the proc. Will this be a clash extending in? But we do see some help coming from Yebe with the speed from the ball.
He's gonna get out fine right there. No real collapse yet, and that's very dangerous for the Shyvana. You don't want to die this early into the game because her early game is
here it comes, locked up for the Leona. That's gonna be the passive doing the work here. Oh, that's very low, but the barrier and the heal is there for the save. AMA will prevent the first blood.
Very close call there for AMA. They just had enough tools to survive the burst coming from both Misfortune and the Leona. And now without summoners, that'll invite Hio to possibly visit this bot lane again.
Yeah, I gotta say, the Arcane Comet really benefiting those champions with slow or hard CC. You get to see that with the Misfortune. And let's see, paired up with the Leona, that's a free proc on the passive and a lot of damage. So, as I said before, our Academy's early game is really strong right now. They can really abuse the weak game that AMA has. But let's see, maybe the mid game can come and will be in AMA's favor.
And actually, it's very interesting here because AMA has a slight goal lead. I think it's due to them being ahead in CS in the mid lane and in the jungle. Of course, we did mention Shyvana tends to farm heavily, and it shows right now. She has a substantial CS lead over the Jarvan, who just opted to go for these ganks.
Okay, I want to see that because of the fact that, let's say Zoe has the CS lead. I want to see some proactiveness from him. Maybe he'll reach level 6 first. We won't know just yet. Anything can happen right now. First blood not yet being secured. So at this point of the game, no one has a huge lead except for the fact that the junglers can have a benefit when it comes to a winning lane.
Yeah, I think the game will break wide open once IAC decides to pull the trigger because given AMA's comp, they don't want to be the first ones to go for the fights because the counter engage coming from IAX is massive. They have a lot of CC to immediately turn around these fights if they happen. And man, look at the poke coming from Episode. It's just so oppressive in lane.
I would say the Arcane Comet really does benefit those slow zones that can really abuse champions who do not have any mobility. And Varus just speaks and reeks that he has no any form of mobility except for some, let's say, a slow and a hard CC from his ultimate.
Yeah, AMA's bot lane, they have to be very, very careful when trying to step forward because if Leona catches you with her Zenith Blade, no summoners available, you're just dead.
So we'll be waiting for that, and we are now, I would say, nearing the 8-minute mark, already reaching here. No first blood secured just yet, so anything can happen for the game changes, but we will have to wait when the level 6 did happen right now. But level 7 onto Falcata, great. Now, I Academy, they have to respect that the Shen has global presence. But for Zoan, it's not yet. He's falling behind. Same with the support. Level 6 onto the Varus, but not onto the Lulu.
Yeah, I don't think AMA would be interested to look for a fight at this stage because
not at all when you're talking about a Lulu and a Shen combo.
Yeah, because I Academy, they just have more early game pressure. They have more tools to fight during the early stages. AMA, they need to get to that late game where they have enough items, enough defensive options, so that IAC can't burn through them.
So let's see if they will burn through it, because at this point of the game, things are looking pretty bad for the bot lane of AMA. Looking at the CS score, it is 81 to 58. Isn't that huge?
And that's just the nature of this matchup. Given that Miss Fortune deals a lot of poke damage, and with Lulu not having a real heal, there's really not much you can do here but just try and avoid the poke and CS as much as you can.
I think for Academy's bot lane, they're winning so far. So in the end, does this mean that Shyvana will tend to be not that impactful when it comes to the mid game? Because as you said, the Shyvana really has to benefit from their laners without intervening.
I think this lead is still manageable for AMA, even though the Shyvana has been able to farm. If her team falls behind far enough, it's going to be very hard for her to be effective. But right now, I think this is still a manageable deficit for AMA.
Look at the poke coming from the Camille. So this is bad news. And as we can see, I think running the sorcery plus the resolve tree is huge on the Camille. I mean, beneficial power? Who wouldn't love that demolish?
Yeah, everybody loves Demolish, man. I mean, you chunk a tower, it just feels good. You know that feel when Rift Herald hits the tower?
It's the same feeling, but bot lane right now, big trouble here. Here comes Stallion United coming through. Valkanis in the scene, S to the gang is very low. Double teleport coming in, that'll move the Dark Bind, missing because of the flash coming from Falcana.
Oh, the Stand United was burned, and sorry, he was already shoving in the Shen. I think this will be first tower for I Academy.
And that's going to be huge for Camille. Solo gold on the first turret. That is going to be 650 gold down to the pockets for Sawyer.
That is massive for the Camille. I mean, Vulcan, we've seen what Camille can do. If she snowballs, she's going to be very, very hard to deal with. Even though you have the Lulu, even though you have the Shen, the Camille can just deny all of those with her ultimate. She can just separate one target and just practically kill him.
And this is how you play against the Shen. Keep pushing. That's why we saw a Tiamat rush. Normally, sometimes you see Camille's getting the shield, right, for the Trinity Force. But now we are seeing an adaptive build coming from this Camille. Getting a Tiamat, force this Shen out of his lane, getting the first turret, global 100 gold. That's going to put the game changers at a slight advantage.
Yeah, that's very, very important for you to adapt your build once the game starts, because you're going to want to adjust to what your opponent doesn't. Sorry here, he understands what he has to do to pressure the Shen, and smartly enough, he will buy the Tiamat, and now he has Trinity Force components, and once he completes that item, that is a massive power spike for Camille's mid-game, and AMA need to be very careful once that arrives.
This is bad news. You did not give the first blood, but giving the first turret is worse, because a solo goal onto a first turret is as much as a first blood, obviously, and that entitles Sawyer to get the 2 components towards the Trinity Force, and that's going to be huge. And teleport is down for Sawyer right now, but when it does come back up, I think the fact that the first blood was secured by IAC is going to show.
Yeah, definitely, but the gold is just on the Camille, and Shyvana is doing the Rift earlier.
Oh, sneaky though. Forced to ultimate away.
Interesting choice there.
Dragon's Ascent will not be available for Zoe. He will be stopping the Rift Herald, so I guess this is the somewhat of a penalty, giving away the top turret at this early.
Yeah, definitely right there. And even though Shyvana's ult was burned, it does have a fairly quick cooldown, so
it's not that huge. At least you're not yet giving the first blood.
Yeah, and I really want to credit AMA's bot lane right here for not going over aggressive, but top lane
comes, predicts it, and knocks up the Shen. There's the lockdown from the ultimatum, but it's too close to home. That's going to be Hio backing away, and with the tackle sweep will not connect. That's going to be 2 members of Game Changers backing off. No respawn from the mid and the jungle. They're are already in the Dragon Pit, so that's not gonna be happening for the Shen. So, great call.
We go for more?
A bit too greedy for Game Changers.
Yeah, not enough tank stats yet for iAcademy to actually kill the Shen under tower. And
But the Drake was started amongst the 5 in the top lane, so this will benefit the Retaliate Esports AMA thanks to the Shyvana. We'll see.
that was a smart choice by AMA to go for the dragon, but there's a bit of a fight in the mid lane.
Trade-off in damage, so once you're AFK in the Dark Bind, you do want to vent out some anger with a Shockwave being wasted there, and that's going to be Falcata not anymore having energy to get away, and no summoners for his escape. Flash is down, and first blood goes to the Jarvan. Hio from Game Changers will be securing the first blood and the first turret.
Yeah, got him right there. Falcata overextends in lane, not respecting Hio to still be there and lock him down. So unfortunately, he will give up for first blood for his team. But looking back, smart choice by AMA to immediately go for the dragon. Even though it was a Cloud Drake, it was a free objective because the Jarvan was showing up in the top lane.
So I think we are experiencing the technical difficulties, but for a short recap of the game, AMA really stepping up their game.
Yeah, for AMA right now, they're still playing very, very passive, very defensively, trying to weather the storm that IAC is tossing at them because the Camille is huge right now. First blood assist, I should say, and first blood turret.
That's still a lot. I mean,
it's a
200
lot
gold?
of gold on a Camille, a champion that works very, very effectively if she gets any sort of lead. And with the Shen being locked down in lane, not able to split push, that's like one win condition crossed off from AMA's list.
And things are looking pretty bad for AMA Retaliate Esports. Knowing that they had a really weak early game is still being pushed further towards the mid game because they are falling behind on this Camille. And this is going to be a huge obstacle for AMA to try and come over.
Yeah, but once they do come over that obstacle, once AMA's comp reaches the late game, they're going to get enough shielding, enough utility, enough protection to help their carries survive these team fights. They really want to give a late game scaling advantage to AMA Retaliate Esports.
But will that happen? I don't think at this
We
point.
never know.
We'll never know, but judging by how Game Changers iAcademy are playing this game, we are really speeding things up. I mean, we did see that Varus is building towards the Rage Blade, and that is one of the popular builds. Sometimes we see the lethality, but right now we'll be seeing a very late game oriented build from their 80 carry Varus. So I think we have to wait out and see, could this be AMA Retaliate Esports losing the first match?
Yeah, still actually both teams playing to their win conditions very well. I think they're executing to their game plans. I mean, we saw IAC, we mentioned they need to win early game. They need to push forward with their early game comp, whereas AMA need to play a bit more defensively, try not to die during the early stage. Unfortunately, they did give up first blood, but it's just one kill.
One kill, but that's still a lot because first turret, you have to take account of the first turret of the game. That is the huge objective that any lane wants to secure.
Yeah, but it was just the Shen that is being punished. The carries of AMA are untouched. They haven't been able to severely punish the Orianna for farming. She's just been free farming versus the Morgana. The Varus has been allowed to scale a bit, fairly passive laning phase. So AMA, they're still in a good spot, even though they are slightly behind.
So what's your prediction for this first game of match 1?
I think we're going to see IAC try and really push the tempo, especially once Baron spawns. Both teams will want to fight over that objective.
Here it comes, Dragon's Den is available for Zoe. That's going to be a gang into the bot lane. Key members of AMA will succeed and take down Episode. Flash out for the Lulu will survive. And that's going to be only one casualty so far in the bot lane.
Yeah, and great dive right there by AMA, utilizing the Lulu to provide extra tankiness to their members. And unfortunately, Episode wasn't able to flash away from that. So great pickup by AMA, and I think they will be able to take down the bot tier 1 turret from iAcademy.
And with Ken Frost and Zoe dancing around their turret in the bot lane, AMA Retaliate Esports will be securing their own turret in the game. But things are looking pretty good for Game Changers. They're trying to get back from that gag, knowing that Zoe is low. That's going to be the signal for the Game Changers to get the Rift Herald. And that is going to be bad news because we know that the Camille at this point is somehow snowballing. And if you give or take away the Rift Herald, that's going to be more pressure in the top lane.
Yeah, the Rift Herald did go to the Jarvan though, so not
Any lane can work out.
Yeah, true. And looking back, smart choice there. Smart cross-map play by iAcademy Game Changers. They know the jungler is bot lane, so they know they can take the Rift Herald. There's no contest right there, so smart choices.
So now the question is, the bot lane is demolished. Good job for AMA. Now, what can they do? Where is their next mission? What should they do and try and remedy the snowballing of this Camille?
But right now, what they're doing is they're moving their bot lane towards the top lane, trying to take that tower down as well. But iAcademy as well, they rotated their Camille towards the bot side, so both teams mirroring the map movements of each other. Great read on the game.
But isn't this going to further benefit Sawyer having a free farming lane extended towards the bot lane? And I don't think that turret is going to last. He has the Trinity Force.
I mean, Sor will have free farm in lane, but this is also gonna benefit AMA because it allows Relapse to avoid the fed Camille, and Varus has no escape from Camille, realistically.
Oh, here it comes though, has the ultimate ready. Volcata looking for some opportunity. Oh, will make the taunt land. Forcing out, but there's the 2-man knockup, and the Dragon's Ascent is there. That would be the Cataclysm locking him down. That's going to be double lockdown for AMA. They do take down Sawyer, but in the top lane, that's going to be bad news for Ken Frost. He gets hit on an episode, forcing out a flash from Relapse, but in the bot lane, that's going to be
Relapse.
and the Stand United will come in, beats
Oh
out
my God.
episode. Whoa! 4 members of Game Changers down across the map.
AMA, they retaliate in a very explosive fashion right there. Fighting in the bot lane immediately turns towards the top. Very well played. And with that, they are going to be able to take down another turret from iAcademy Game Changers. And man, AMA just turning it up.
What was that? That was just everything falling into the hands of AMA. The timing, the double kill from the bot lane. Volcata still having the Stand United beats out episode for
That
a
was
4-member
insane play.
lockdown.
Insane play, insane show of teamwork from AMA. There's more fighting, Volcan.
Oh god, that's gonna be Haiyo backing off. So, gone is the trouble for the game change. Rather for AMA, because let's have a breakdown of the replay.
This fight right here is very well played by AMA. They picked their target, the Fed Camille. All the focus went there. And that being said, the cleanup, the numbers advantage, just abused by AMA. They were able to instantly, the response from Volcata moves to the top lane to save his AD carry.
If it hadn't for that shield, that would have been a close call for Relapse, but it's the fact that Volcata gets double kill, gets a free assist in the top lane. This shuts down the snowball of Sawyer right now because kill score of 2-5, gold lead now in favor of Vitality Esports. This is the moment that AMA has been enduring. The early game was hell for them, and now they will come back into this mid game.
Yeah, now that we're transitioning into the mid-game point of this match, Vulcan, this is dangerous waters for iAcademy Game Changers.
That is painful, really, really painful, and you do not want to be caught in that dark bind. That is a bit too excessive. Triple lockdown there.
Yeah, Ken Frost, he went AFK for a second there, and then he just died. Unfortunately for them, and Rift Herald has been spawned. Oh my god, look at the damage.
Satisfied, and the Demolish is still available. So, let's see. Game Changers trying to come back from that bad start they had in the bot lane. That's going to be a huge chunk of health taken down. But will they further commit? We're not yet sure. Seeing how there is Sawyer forcing a flash from Yeva and baiting out that ultimate. What a poor play there. And signals the bullet time. So, shredded right now. Very low in health. iAcademy Game Changers in the scene. And another ultimate wasted from AMA. The chain of corruption will not channel through.
Everyone's burning their ultimates right now, Vulcan. And with that being said, everybody's just trying to get a grasp of what's happening. Everyone's fighting all across the map. And man, iAcademy, they don't want to let this game get out of hand. They immediately take the fight because even though AMA won the last few skirmishes, iAcademy still has a very strong early game. And Infernal Drake is now being started. Can iAcademy contest?
I wonder if the daddy issues of Shyvana can work right now here, because if ever AMA does get this Drake, okay,
No problem.
uncontested, no problem. That's going to further benefit this Shyvana. That is going to be good news for AMA. This is their time to attack. And as for game changers, they have to think back. What went wrong? We cannot play the same way we did before, and that's going to be bad news.
Yeah, AMA, they're pushing iAcademy into dangerous waters right now. We know that iAcademy has the advantage in the early game, but now it looks like that early game advantage doesn't seem that effective versus AMA now that they have scaled, now that they have enough defensive options. Varus already has a QSS.
Oh my god,
episode.
so flashing in for the kill, fails, delays. That's going to be great work from Sinigang, saving episode.
That is a flash burn though from the Shyvana, so less pressure right there. And man, the Shyvana is very, very scary at this stage. She's building towards the Frozen Mallet. So once she completes that item, you're just not going to be able to run away from this half dragon.
Look at the CS of the Shyvana compared to Kyo.
What did I say, man? Shyvana, she wants the farm, she wants the gold.
She wants everything, and she took away all the Drake so far. Cloud and the Infernal in the hands of AMA. The next Drake would be the Ocean. Let's see if AMA can secure their third Drake, further boosting up the power of this Shyvana.
Yeah, definitely. This game, iAcademy, they need to begin pulling the trigger before it gets extremely out of hand, because right now we see AMA taking the fight. Even though we mentioned iAcademy has more options to engage, it's actually Retaliate Esports that is constantly looking for these skirmishes.
And with things looking pretty grim for game changers, not that... Okay, it's still too early because the gold lead is just 3,000, and still the Baron has not yet been a touch, not yet contested. When the Baron clash does happen, maybe we'll see another shift in the game.
Yeah, once the Baron was one ability could change the entirety of that. One massive Cataclysm could change it. One huge shockwave from AMA's mid laner could change the course of that fight. So that's definitely something we'd want to look out for.
So the protection for the ADC Varus relapse will be available for Volcata, same as the Lulu is there. So this is going to be bad news, because what the troubles of having a Varus, a very immobile ADC, is now gone. The weakness is gone, because when you can just stand and just spam your hits, proc that passive and the Blight stacks and use the Rage Blade, you don't need to move when you have a Shen, a Lulu. That is set in stone.
Zhou is currently running amok in iAcademy's jungle. He's not letting anyone bully him, but the binding landed.
Binding landed, but they were in place for the shockwave. Over the wall, Zoe is there. Stinding Knight is onto Zoe. Here comes Volcata, but not needed. 3 members from the Game Changers get slaughtered in the mid lane. Therefore, giving the outer turret, and now the inner mid lane turret.
Yeah, but it was giving a warm welcome to Episode's LVL debut right there. Catches a lot of members in his shockwave, and 3 for nothing. This might be a free Baron for AMA.
Be a Baron, and Volcata can just buy time. He has the Bramble Vest, so he can try and deal with Sawyer. Look at the damage being returned, and that's going to be... Oh, Volcata's very low. There's the adaptive shield, and he just dashes out of the tactical sweep. Causes the play, flashes in, takes the kill.
What a turnaround by Volcata right there. Very well played by the Shen, pulling the trigger first before the Camille could do anything. Insane play.
What happened there was, I would say, Sawyer really falling in the hands of the Blaze, but let's see them replay in the mid lane.
This is a warm welcome onto Episode into the LVL. Even though the binding landed, it gave Episode a false sense of security to step forward, but Oriana can still cast their abilities. The shockwave lands, and that will lead to a disaster for iAcademy. Now Baron onto AMA. They can just dictate the rest of this game for the next few minutes.
They're just changing the game flow right now. Early game was iAcademy's chance to capitalize on the weakness. Now it's gone. AMA taking control of the Baron. Now bolstering up that gold lead towards almost 10,000. And what happened in the bot lane? Volcata really baiting in Sawyer, and it just passes through. That Spirit Blade was the crucial point, and that slow plus the extra damage caught him by surprise.
Just bopped him. practically nothing to say about it. Just great outplay by...
Great outplay indeed from Volcata. So let's see how the Game Changers can try and remedy their deficit so far, nearing the 10,000 mark.
I think you could say
Oh, God.
how... you need to run, my friend.
Frozen Mallet will just torture you here. Forcing
Whoa.
a flash for Hio, channels the chain of corruption here. Looks like Zoe will not be having any trouble anymore invading the jungle of the Game Changers. And now Hio is now at a bad spot. Look at the CS, 204 CS onto this Shyvana.
I mean, he's definitely in a bad spot at the moment, Vulcan. And now, with the Baron buff, how much can AMA actually take from My Academy? I wonder, can the Game Changers retaliate?
I wouldn't say sure, but because the fact that Sawyer, what are we calling just now, and the shielding is just ridiculous. Relapse
takes no time.
He doesn't even need to move. Look at him, he's just spamming, gets shield, double shield. That is just Relapse having a blissful time, having a vacation in the ADC role, not even
That's
taking...
the best feeling. as
That's
an
the best
AD
feeling. You don't need to take stress. And then, where should I position myself? Where should I go?
No, just stand right there.
Just stand right there and just get shield. It's like you're waiting for a promotion to happen. And now, in the top lane, that's going to be pressure from Volcata. Will try to secure the turret. Gets delayed by Sawyer. But the Drake has been secured. The third Drake of the game falling to the hands of AMA Retaliate Esports.
Yeah, and with that third Drake going to their side, I don't think there's anything realistic that I Academy could do, given that AMA did have the Baron buff. They have all of the lanes pushing, crashing down onto I Academy's base, and the Baron will be timing out fairly soon though, but the damage has been done. It's very apparent that I Academy's buildings are all falling down. How much more can Retaliate Esports take?
So far, the goalie is reaching the 11K mark. We'll see how can the Game Changers will try and remedy this, because when a goalie does reach around that mark, it is very difficult. And the Arcane Comet did really benefit Camille in the early game harass, but at this point, I don't think it's that beneficial. Maybe the Prestige attack would have worked into the late game, but still, Sawyer did a good job pressuring the top lane, getting the first turret. What happened was small mistake from the bot lane, channeled through the top lane, and now this is the consequence that the Game Changers has to face.
Yeah, what great pressure being exerted by AMA right here. They're sending the Shyvana bot lane, and nobody can 1v1 Joe at this stage. And if you try to engage onto AMA's 4-man unit, Relapse will just destroy. I mean, Relapse has no fears at the moment.
Yeah, and looks like a battle will happen into the bot lane. Sawyer brings out the dragon,
God.
and Zoe. That's going to be them finding it out, buying some time. But I want to tell the viewers out there, look at Relapse's health when a clash does happen. Look at his health bar. You're just going to see gray bars all the time. The shield will be present. And now we're seeing right now in the mid lane, Volcata is trying to look for the time to go in for that ton, but the damage has been dealt in the top lane. Inhibitor is down, spawning super minions. What can the Game Changers
Relapse
do?
isn't scared at all.
Check out his health. It's not going down at all. Gets another shield. Refresh. At this point, the Lulu could have at least have enough cooldown reduction to keep spamming that skill. The Lulu's cooldown is relatively low, and plus the Solari. My God.
You know, actually very interesting. If you get max cooldowns on Lulu, you can just constantly spam your shield and it won't time out at all as long as you don't run out of mana. So that's very, very impressive. And right now we're seeing textbook League of Legends from AMA Retaliate Esports. They're exerting so much pressure onto I Academy, and for I Academy, they're just gonna slowly bleed out here unless they can get a miraculous engage and somehow pop Relapse.
For them to pop Relapse, they think they have to take down the Lulu, but that's a waste of time. So, Game Changers being pressured right now. Cannot deal with that. Sawyer getting a bit impatient, tries to get away with a tactical sweep, but no! That's going to be the burn, doing the work in the mid lane. There is the lockdown, and check out Relapse, not giving a care in the world.
Yeah, I think this might be the near end of the game. They're beginning to clean up the members of I Academy.
Gets stopped there with a Dark Bind, and a Flash ropes in again. Will save his life, but the damage is dealt there. Kill score 3-13 What was iAcademy's controlling early game now falls and breaks. AMA Retaliate Esports will secure Game 1 of Match 1.
Yeah, AMA, they turned up the tempo right at the perfect moment to take control of this game. They are going to knock down the final Nexus start, and finally the Nexus, just under 31 minutes, AMA Retaliate Esports with a commanding victory.
Indeed, it's a very convincing victory. They endured it, and this is their reward. AMA Retaliate Esports will be securing the first game of Match 1.
So very well played game there by AMA Retaliate Esports. We mentioned once you head onto Summoner's Rift, it all moves down to execution. iAcademy, they had the early game pressure, and AMA, they worked very well versus that pressure. They were able to thrive in it and really just play passively enough to hit their proper power spikes. And once their power spikes arrived, they began taking the fight to iAcademy, and there was just no fight back from iAcademy, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, they had a really good early game, but it's the fact that the small mistakes just was not in favor. I mean, small mistakes can happen, but it's the fact that those mistakes, once it's been spotted out, players can really make that small mistake into a big consequence. But I think this is actually one of the results and consequences that we can expect when we're expecting one of the best players from the respective schools. This is the LVL. And now, we'll be having a short break, resuming Game 2. We have been Shotcasters. My name is Vulcan, and with me is Chisto. See you! See you after the short break. The 2-man knockup, and the Dragon's Ascent is there. That would be the Cataclysm blocking them down. That's going to be double lockdown for AMA. They do take down Sawyer, but in the top lane, that's going to be bad news for Ken Frost. He gets to get on my episode, forcing out a flash from Relapse, but in the bot lane, that's going to be Relapse, and the Stan United will come in, beat out episode. Whoa!
Not letting anyone bully him, but the binding landed.
Binding landed, but they were in place for the shockwave over the wall. Zoe is there. Stan United is on the zone. Here comes Volcana, but not needed. Remember, that's going to be the burn, doing the work in the mid lane. There is the lockdown, and check out Relapse, not giving a care in the world.
Yeah, I think this might be the year end of the game. They're beginning to clean up the members of iAcademy.
Gets stopped there with a dark bind, and a flash bumps in again. Will save his life, but the damage is dealt there. Kill score 3-13. What was iAcademy's controlling early game now falls and breaks. AMA Retaliate Esports will secure Game 1 of Match 1.
Yeah, AMA, they turned up the tempo right at the perfect moment to take control of this game. They are going to knock down the final Nexus start, and finally the Nexus, just under 31 minutes, AMA Retaliate Esports with a commanding victory.
Indeed, it's a very convincing victory. They endured it, and this is their reward. AMA Retaliate Esports will be
Not enough Garena shells to buy the latest League of Legends skin? On sale now? Get shells anytime, anywhere with your Globe or Touch mobile number. Go to gamer.com.ph and sign up with your mobile number and enter the verification code you will receive via SMS. Log in and choose the game and pin you want. Check out to purchase the pin with your load or through your postpaid account and receive the pin on your phone instantly. Never miss a sale on your favorite League of Legends skins and champions with Gamer.